In this video, I'd like to talk to you about persuasive tactics in a negotiation. Now, in a separate video, we've talked about the first major category, which is central route tactics. That is, tactics that you use to directly affect the other person yourself, right? Things that you do in the negotiation. Peripheral route tactics used to persuade are less things to directly influence the other person through your actions, but more establishing general context or aura around the negotiation that has that same effect on the person or negotiation. Things such as you'll see in this list, leveraging status, leveraging gender, things like that, things that exist in the negotiation. It's not something you're directly doing to the other person in that way. It's simply a roundabout technique that ultimately has the effect of moving or promoting forward your agenda or point of view in the conflict or dispute or position that you're putting forward in the negotiation. Okay, so with that being said, let me give you some examples of tactics that fall under the peripheral route category. First there, leveraging status is a good example. Simply making it known who I am, what my position is, that type of thing. A demonstration of authority, recognition, power, influence, that type of thing can indirectly affect the other person's perception in the negotiation and can have an effect, particularly in terms of me persuading them towards my point of view. Okay, leveraging gender. All right. If there is some level of additional reverence, respect, or standoffishness, attraction to whatever, based upon your gender versus the other person's, right? It could be leveraging the fact that it's two men or two women negotiating, or leveraging the fact that there's a difference there, a man and a woman negotiating. But to the extent that your gender will have some level of effect on the way the other person proceeds in the negotiation. Once again, particularly for specific topics, if you're negotiating over something related towards, for example, women's reproductive rights, that type of thing. A woman's gender in that situation would give her some level of peripheral influence beyond that of a man, because it's more innate or more relevant to them in terms of importance and actual physical relevance, right? Social networks, right? Who you are connected to, okay? Who is on your side in a way, who you are influenced by and who you influence, again, can have a perception to the other person. If you have this given social network, for example, that these are the people that you communicate with, these are your influences, it can thereby cause the other person to have certain perceptions about you, which again can work towards the goal of ultimately persuading them. Okay, social proof, right? This is providing some level of this is what other people do, giving you examples, demonstrations or recitations of so-and-so did it this way, particularly if it's someone who has some level of expertise, knowledge, or just level of authority, or that the other party holds in high regard, right? So social proof can go a long way in convincing them towards something, right? And like I say, it's caused by external factors, right? It's not what you did, it's what somebody else did. So it's peripheral in nature to the one-on-one communication that's going on in this negotiation. All right, physical appearance similarity. Research has shown that people tend to gravitate towards people who are more like them, right? There's a perception that we all seek to be understood, right? We all seek similarity in that way. We have a similarity bias towards others. So if we believe that someone is similar to us in that way, they are more likely to understand us, we're more likely to understand them. So we gravitate towards people like that. So in physical appearance, similarity, dress, that type of thing, we perceive some level of commonality in anything from beliefs, interests, values, that type of thing that establish the similarities that we're looking for. And again, that similarity ultimately is an external or peripheral influence upon whether you are going to be willing to accept any part of my position in the negotiation. Okay, priming the pump. Once again, that's giving people information about what's going to happen, providing external proof, I would say, about your position, that type of thing, building up to a position. It may be building the other person up. It may be providing secondary information that builds upon an argument that you are presenting to them. Okay, reciprocity, that is demonstrating some level of, if I accept you or your position, you accept the my position in turn, right? So even if it's outside of our direct communications, being willing to accept or recognize something about the other person, right, or something about the situation, again, has the peripheral effect of causing that person to likewise hold a similar approach or mindset relevant to the problem. Okay. Reactance technique, that's what we typically know of as reverse psychology. That is us recognizing or playing upon the innate needs of the other person. So as long as we are able to present the situation in a way that allows the other person's innate need to act in a specific way, right? To demonstrate their driving force or influence in the negotiation, right? Then again, that can have a peripheral effect on whether they are convinced by your communications directly with them. Okay, foot in the door technique. This can be considered more of a central route, but we group it in peripheral route simply because the idea that, okay, I ask you for one thing that's separate from what we're negotiating over, right? Just one small thing. And then I ask you for something bigger, right? So I move on to something else. And the fact that you've already done one thing for me has the peripheral effect of affecting the big thing I'm asking you for, right? You want to continue to be held in high regard or not fall from grace by denying me the bigger thing because you've already done the smaller thing, right? The next one, door in the face technique. And that's generally the opposite of foot in the door technique. That's where basically you say, you ask for something outrageous and like it's not even feasible, right? It's not a reality in the situation, okay? And then it has such an effect on the person that when you get down to what you're actually, something realistic that you're negotiating for in the negotiation, the other party feels like they've made up some ground, right? That you're in the realm of reality and they're more likely at this point to accept this smaller ask from you, even if it's on the high side of in a zone of potential agreement. They're more likely to accept this side of or this offer because in comparison to the crazy offer that you threw out earlier, by comparison, once again, it is reasonable. So again, this could be a central route because you're directly trying to affect the other party. But again, the original thing that you threw out is on the peripheral and affects in its way the mentality of the other person. Okay, and then that's not all technique. The one more thing, you throw the sweetener in there. You have something worked out, and then something else, not directly related to the interest you're negotiating over. You throw just that one more thing in there. That additional interest is at stake there. That you're saying, if you'll do this now, you can have this as well, and I'll throw in this, and we'll do this, that type of thing, right? And it's trying to build somebody towards something that they're already acknowledged or willing to accept. You're just sweetening the deal type scenario. And these things, once again, are not, they're part of the regular deal. And again, these could easily fall under central route because what you're trying to affect on the mentality of the other one, of the other party, but it's a peripheral element, right? Something not related to directly what you care about most in the negotiation that's affecting someone's willingness to accept your position or the primary interest in the negotiation. So all of these are just simple examples of how peripheral elements, peripheral tactics you can employ can affect the other person in a way indirectly rather than directly the way central route tactics are designed to do.